This is JDTFridaysFan97 News. Hello and welcome to another edition of JDTFridaysFan97 News. If you are new to this channel, my name is Justin Del Toro Hurtado, founder of JDTFridaysFan97. I wanted to tell you that I want to thank you guys for this wonderful support on my channel. And as always, as you forget, if you like this video, give a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell and join my Facebook group and follow me on social media. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you for your support and enjoy the video. I'm here on CNBC.com, and it says the U.S. and European lawmakers pledge European scrutiny of Paramount's WBD deal. And the key points are a group of U.S. and European lawmakers said European regulators will closely examine Paramount's proposed acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery. The lawmakers said in a joint letter to Paramount CEO David Ellison, shared exclusively with CNBC. The lawmakers also warned that shareholder approval has no bearing on the rigorous and comprehensive review that the merger that will have to undergo before their governments. A group of U.S. and European lawmakers told Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison that the company's proposed acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery will be subject to careful scrutiny by European regulators, that he should not consider shareholder approval of the deal to be the final word. Three European Parliament members and two Democratic U.S. lawmakers issued their warning in the letters sent Thursday and shared exclusively with CNBC. In the European Union, the European Commission and the European Parliament will closely examine market definition, market share threshold, customer substitutability, vertical integration effects, and downstream impact in the internal market pursuant to the European merger regulation, they wrote. The lawmakers noted that despite a preliminary WBD shareholder vote approving the merger last month, it is still subject to scrutiny by their respective governments. And they warned that the merger could create new barriers to competition. We raised particular concern about public statements and suggesting that this transaction will face minimal regulatory scrutiny or will likely receive swift approval, such as characterizations appear premature. U.S. Representative Sam Liccario, Democrat of California, and Deborah Ross, a Democrat of North Carolina, wrote alongside European Parliament members Natalie Loestu, Brando Benif, and Andreas Schwartz. Paramount has engaged constructively and proactively with regulatory new agencies, which are rigorously reviewing the transaction. Paramount said in an emailed statement, adding that the deal represents increased and greater competition while enabling a well-capitalized creative first company to invest in more projects and bringing more stories to audiences worldwide. It will expand opportunities for creators and enhance consumer choice. The warning comes a little over a week after Paramount's earnings report, in which Ellison said in a letter to shareholders that significant progress was being made toward closing the acquisition by the end of the third quarter. From a strategic standpoint, we could not be more excited about the transaction. We are also on track to get things done by September this year, Ellison said during the company's earnings call. The combination would bring together powerhouse film studios in Paramount and Warner Brothers, as well as two popular streaming services, a deep library of franchise content, and a portfolio of TV networks that includes CBS, TNT, and CNN. This transaction, if not fully compliant with a due authorization process and respecting all applicable legalization, could substantially lessen competition across interconnection markets, including film and television production, content licensing, theatrical distribution, and streaming services. The lawmakers wrote it could thereby reduce consumer choice and increase prices. The lawmakers also raised concerns about editorial independence. Shortly after Ellison's Skydance acquired Paramount last year, the combined company brought the online publication, The Free Press, and named its co-founder, Barry West, as CBS News editor-in-chief. Long-awaited federal approval for Paramount and Skydance's merger came shortly after Paramount paid a $16 million settlement to President Donald Trump over a 60-minute interview with then Vice President Kamala Harris. As part of the lawsuit, Paramount agreed to hire an ombudsman for CBS News. We warned about the impact of this merger on media pluralism, and we called for internal safeguards to guarantee that editorial decision-making remains independent of the interests of corporate shareholders, particularly third country investors, the lawmakers wrote to Ellison. Paramount has agreed to buy WBD for $31 per share and has offered a $7 billion breakup fee in the event the proposed merger doesn't win regulatory approval. Funding for the deal includes nearly $24 billion in sub-region wealth funds for Gulf states, in addition to a credit facility and backing by Ellison's father, billionaire Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. Paramount previously said those Gulf states' entities had agreed to forego any voting rights in the new company, and the deal isn't expected to trigger a mandatory review by the Committee of Foreign Investment in the U.S., according to a person familiar with the matter. If there were to be an issue with the foreign investment, that would impact the overall deal approval. The Ellison family has backstopped the deal and would be prepared to step in, the person said. In late April, Paramount filed a petition to the Federal Communications Commission for the indirect foreign funding since it is the owner of U.S. broadcast station CBS. Still, the investment is raising alarm. Such financing structures raise serious questions regarding national security, editorial independence, foreign state influence, and a potential for review by the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, particularly given the aggregation of sensitive user data and significant media assets under a single corporate owner, the lawmakers wrote in their letter to Ellison. In the European Union, the presence of foreign sub-region wealth funds may also raise questions regarding the application of the foreign subsidies regulation. They vowed that the merger will go through a rigorous review process, despite the recent comments of some regulators, including U.S. Federal Communications Commission Chair Brendan Carr, who has said he expects the deal to be approved pretty quickly. Of note, the FCC would not have sole approval over the deal. Public trust requires a rigorous and transparent review process. Please consider this letter formal notice that any suggestions the transaction has effectively cleared regulatory hurdles are false, the lawmakers wrote. I'm here at the center square, and it says the Paramount-Warner merger could create 40,000 jobs, report says. A proposed merger between Paramount Global and Warner Bros. Discovery could create thousands of jobs and inject nearly $1 billion annually into Hollywood movie production, a new report from the California Policy Center found. Excuse me. The report looked at Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison's pledge to have Paramount Pictures and Warner Bros. Each produce 15 movies per year after the merger, for a combined total of 30 films annually. That would be a 50% increase from the studio's combined recent output, as a 14% increase in production among the 5 major Hollywood studios. Our analysts find that this commitment, if fulfilled, could add almost $1 billion to Hollywood's annual investment in movie production. Economist Jeff Ferry wrote in the report, Paramount Skydance would account for some 40,000 jobs in production and related industries. The report comes as the film industry continues struggle with lower theater attendance, layoffs, reduced production, and increased competition from streaming platforms. Production jobs in the motion picture industry are now at a 30-year low, the reporter said. The period up to 2022, excluding the pandemic year of 2020, is now referred to as the era of peak content, Ferry wrote. As that period unwound, Hollywood production studios laid off workers and cut back on output. The report said the 5 major studios produced 69 feature films last year. Paramount produced 8, while Warner Bros. Produced 11. Ellison's pledge to produce 30 movies a year would therefore generate total spending of $660 million a year on production, the reporter said. Assuming an average movie industry wage approximates to some $100,000 a year, we can estimate that this movie slate will generate 6,600 production jobs a year. The reporter added that movie industry jobs create additional employment through supplies and other businesses. That figure would indicate that Paramount's impact would create some 40,000 jobs, Ferry wrote. The study also argued that Ellison's commitment to maintain a 45-day theatrical release window could help movie theaters that have struggled in recent years. Box office ticket sales are down by 46% since 2000, the reporter said. In this environment, David Ellison's commitment to maintain a 45-day theatrical window for all of Paramount-Warner releases is a significant development for the struggling theater industry, Ferry wrote. The report cited estimates showing movie theaters support more than 325,000 jobs nationwide and generate billions in the local economic activity. The proposed merger would be one of the largest media deals in history, with an estimated price tag of $111 billion. David Ellison has promised to find $6 billion of cost savings in the combined company, the reporter said. Still, Ferry argued the merger could help reverse recent declines in the entertainment industry. The proposed Paramount-Warner Bros. Discovery merger is a bold, audacious attempt to meet the structural changes and challenges reshaping the film entertainment industry, Ferry wrote. And finally today, right here on Deadline, the WBD staffers raises Upfront glass as yet another corporate merger looms. According to this, it says, Warner Bros. Discovery's lunch at the Food Network kitchen after its upfront pitch to advertisers had become an annual ritual, in the words of Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer Bruce Campbell. This year's edition, however, unfolded in the shadow of the pending $110 billion acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery by David Ellison's Paramount Skydance, the industry-altering deal, which is due to close by September 30th, bearing an 11th-hour legal challenge, gave the event an undeniably valedictory feel. Welcome to the Last Supper, one waggish WBD staffer joke as guests arrive. M&A deals are due to put assets like the Turner Networks, HBO, and Warner Brothers in the hands of a fourth corporate parent in 8 years, earning a couple of mentions, direct or otherwise, during the company's presentation. Co-head of sales Bob Voltiago got off the best line by any exec at the Upfronts when he said he wanted to address the elephant in the room. Leslie Jones plugged her new HGTV series, Roast My Rental, rattled off the names of a few of the 24 cable networks on the roster, which ballooned after the 2022 merger of Warner Media and Discovery. Speaking for many in the audience, she wondered around, how many channels y'all got? Campbell referenced Voltiago's fraudulent slip in a brief toast of colleagues, advertisers, and members of the press at lunch. This is a year of change for us, he said, but I hope you saw today everything we had to offer, both in terms and our advertising products, and breadth and depth of all of our media properties, but also how hard we want to work to earn your business. So it is going to be a year of change, but this team is up for the challenge. One senior WBD exec Deadline spoke with at the lunch. He said he was asked by colleagues recently what would happen if the deal somehow didn't close. I told them, this deal is happening. There is no doubt about that. While a few international regulators still need to sign off, WBD shareholders have given their approval and financing arrangements have been finalized. Two X factors are also widely assumed to be in Paramount's favor. One is the longtime alliance between deal backer Larry Ellison, father of Paramount CEO David Ellison, and President Trump. The other is the role of Makan Delrahim, who led the government's lawsuit against AT&T's acquisition of Time Warner while heading up the Department of Justice's Antitrust Division, is now Paramount's chief legal officer. helping steer the company through the regulatory process. Without wading into politics, the WBD exec mentioned the debate months ago about whether Netflix's earlier bid for the company's studio and streaming unit would have passed muster with regulators. I always told everyone that both deals were going to be approved, the exec said. At roughly the same time as WBD's Upfront at the theater at Madison Square Garden, Paramount exec Dennis Sinelli was a short distance away in Midtown Manhattan. He was making his first appearance at an investor conference since being named the chief financial officer in January. We continue to build momentum toward close, Sinelli said at the event hosted by research firm MoffettNathanson. This is a big undertaking, but we've been planning for it. Number one, the culture around this is different from prior mergers. You're talking about the company that owner-operator led. The CEO is the largest shareholder of the company. The leadership team is incentivized. It's very much like in Silicon Valley, where everyone's an owner of the company. That is a different lens than other media mergers. Speaking of Silicon Valley-style incentives, one notable figure was absent from the Upfront lunch, a gathering he had attended in the past. David Zaslav, the CEO of WBD, stands to collect as much as $886 million in total compensation once the deal is completed. On top of a meteoric payday of $165 million for 2025, thanks to stock options included in an amended play deal. In the same special meeting at which the merger was okayed, 82% of shareholders voted against Zaslav's compensation package, though he will still collect as the vote is non-binding. That wraps it up for JDT Fridays Fan97 news, and please don't forget to, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell and join my Facebook group and follow me on social media. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is JDT Fridays Fan97 saying, this is your JDT Fridays Fan97 news. Until the next video, until the next video, be good, or I'll come over there and block your underrated privileges.